Comic-Con conference. Michael, I'm so excited to be part of this. I know you're all excited to be here. We are going to have several folks from the state. I think on one of your next panels is Mark Silberg, Will Torr. Are you part of this? Yeah, the next panel you're going to hear about it and hopefully learn about some of the exciting work underway. First of all, it's great to be here at CSU Spur. For how many of you is this your first time at the Spur campus? Many of you, most of you. So this is a brand new CSU campus. You know, we have Fort Collins and Pueblo and now Denver, and it really ties together, and I don't know if you'll have a chance to tour it as part of this, but climate is a big focus of this campus, in particular the impact on air and water. And so a lot of that research is occurring here, and in fact, they have buildings named after the air and the water, and they do a lot of great work on soil health and regenerative agriculture, and are very much part of the climate solution. I also want to thank the Denver Museum of Nature and Science for supporting this work. I don't know if George Sparks is here, but we want to thank Denver Museum of Nature and Science. So Colorado is really on the forefront of innovative climate solutions, and this event is a chance to learn from one another, to celebrate that work, of course to reflect on the task ahead, the daunting task ahead, but one that we must not shy away from and we must lean into. When I first ran for governor 5 years ago, I set our goal of achieving 100% renewable energy for Colorado by 2040 for the grid. And we got to work right away to do that. I'm proud to say that we will pass 80% renewable energy in 2029. Just 5 years from now, we'll be at 80%. And we will, of course, have a plan to achieve that remaining 20% in the next 11 years. And this transition means a lot of things. Of course, it means doing our part on climate, but it also means improving air quality, supporting the health of Coloradans, saving people money by protecting the consumers from large price swings in fossil fuels. The lesson from the Texas storm of a few years ago, which left Colorado ratepayers paying to the tune of $700 or $800 million for that two-day event. Obviously, Texans paying even more, show the vulnerability of a grid that relies on natural gas. Here in Colorado, we know the urgency and we know the potential of clean energy tech. Climate change, of course, is not an abstract idea for us. We're seeing the impact on communities across our state with longer fire seasons, and drought and many other factors that are already impacting our livelihoods here in Colorado. Colorado has a diverse economy, but a big part of our economy is climate dependent. Think agriculture, ski and tourism. These are climate dependent industries, and these are two of our largest industries. So this is climate change is very much a bread and butter issue for Colorado's future. And of course, in the last several years, we've experienced the 3 largest wildfires in the history of the entire state of Colorado. We also had the most destructive wildfire in the history of the state of Colorado, the Marshall Fire. Extreme drought, putting intense pressure on our rivers and our water resources. And the good news is we're leading the way in deploying new clean energy technologies. We're 4th nationally in clean tech employment, 5th for electric vehicle sales. Well over 12% of vehicles sold now are electric vehicles, and if you are shopping for a new vehicle, you should check out the new incentives around electric vehicles. You can get about $7,500 back or even more, really helping to reduce those upfront costs. And of course, you'll be able to benefit from saving money on maintenance and gas over the lifetime of the vehicle. Just last week, we got a $8.5 million grant from the Biden administration that allows us to replace electric vehicle charger ports in about 200 locations across our state. We're rapidly moving forward working with school districts to replace aging diesel buses with electric school buses. Not only quieter, but also better for the health of the kids and the drivers, and of course, reducing the climate impact of the necessary work of getting kids to school. We're also a leader in energy innovation. When I was chair of the Western Governors Association, I made geothermal energy our focus. It's an enormous opportunity to generate clean, low-cost electricity that will help us reach our climate goals. As you know, geothermal electric is currently 0% of our mix here in Colorado, but many other Western states already have some geothermal electric energy integrated into their mix, and I'm confident that this will be a part of Colorado's clean energy future for baseload generation as well. And we passed, working with the legislature, comprehensive legislation and incentives to support geothermal investment, to help streamline decision-making for deep geothermal wells, reducing red tape, making them easier to permit. And we're working on policies to encourage utilities to adopt clean electricity generation and geothermal heating and cooling projects, and look forward to removing additional barriers to siting of renewable energy, including geothermal, including solar, and including transmission, to facilitate and bring the clean energy economy quicker, allowing us to move away from natural gas. And of course, the last coal plant, as you probably already know, will close in our state in 2029. And very excited about that. We also are working on incentives around transit and e-bikes and much more. In fact, a big part of our work with the legislature this session is going to be about that nexus between housing and transit and climate. So it's really about affordability, livability, and sustainability. The sustainability piece meaning how we live, where we live, how we get where we want to go, impacts air quality, climate, and also water efficiency. So all three of those critical pillars of sustainability as we have a fork in the road and we can move towards a way of life that is better, more affordable fundamentally. This is a major pain point Coloradans have. People love our state, can't afford to rent or mortgage. How do we create more housing, but not more housing in a less efficient, exurban, further from job center way to put more cars on the road, more housing in a way where it's close to job centers or along transit corridors so people can get where they want to go on light rail, front range passenger rail, or bus. It means a family of four might only want to have one car instead of two. It means a couple might only not even need a car if they can live a lifestyle without that expense. The average Coloradan spends $1,800 on gas just getting to and from work and loses 54 hours a week stuck in traffic. That's more than an entire work week that the average Coloradan spends stuck in traffic. So these are all real problems that need real solutions, and we're focused on working with the legislature to make sure that people have the opportunity to live in a more affordable, a more livable, and a more sustainable way. We also, last year, launched a climate preparedness office led by Jonathan Asher, who I think you might also be hearing from later today. We unveiled our first of its kind for every state climate preparedness roadmap that coordinates across every state agency to bring a proactive approach to climate adaptation and protecting Colorado communities and our natural environments in the face of climate change. So adapting to what's occurring, trying to be ahead of the curve on these trends and their impacts on the wild world and on the human world. We've also built an incredible ecosystem of clean energy and climate change leaders and research labs and institutions, and of course CSU is one of those doing cutting edge work, particularly in sustainable agriculture. Climate tech companies, including carbon sequestration, many of which you'll hear about over the course of this event. But we know that in order to achieve these goals, we need to do more. And again, particularly around housing and transit, really the largest source of pollution and carbon emissions, transportation sector. So of course, rapid electrification, yes, and electrification has substantial benefits today over internal combustion engines. Even with a grid that is not yet 80% renewable, there are still substantial emission reductions, largely because of the scale, the efficiencies of reductions of scale. There's very little that's less efficient than a small standalone internal combustion engine for power generation. So we're facilitating that. But it's also about making sure that people have the opportunity to live closer to job centers and on transit corridors. So we're really doubling down on how we can make transit that works. Front range rail, mountain rail, Winter Park Steamboat, and a bus system between dozens of jurisdictions in every regional transportation district, along with state investments to make sure that we live up to the promises of transit-oriented communities, allowing more people to have the opportunity to live affordably close to those transit hubs. We know that this is an exciting vision for our future, and it really also addresses a main pain point of Coloradans, that the cost of living is simply too much in our state. And that's why gatherings like this are so important. It's to discuss how we can use every tool available to us to rise to the occasion to protect the future of Colorado and the future of our planet. I'm glad to see a number of students here as well, who of course have even more at stake. about the future that they will inherit and they will live in. It's time to roll up our sleeves and get to work. We need to innovate. We need to collaborate. We need to form powerful and compelling networks with one another, and that's exactly what you're doing here today. Colorado's energy future is a very exciting one. And the work happening here is part of building that momentum to keep moving forward and to creating the world that we want to see now and in future generations. I'm excited to help kick off this conference and let the innovation and transformational change begin. Thank you very much.